lovelies, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy the next video. I hope you see something that you like, that you learn something that you want to try, or that you have questions that you would want to do the research and see if it's something you want to do. Alrighty, enjoy the video. Hello lovelies, I'm about to do a peekaboo stemless wine glass. So I've sprayed the glass with alcohol. Let me get a little more. Seems something sticky on that one. And I'm using a coffee filter because they say those are lint free. Okay, that should be clean. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put words here and I'm gonna put some images around this way, and you will see it from the underside. So for this particular part, I mirrored the words so that they can be the right way when you look through the glass. And you might can't see my images because they're white, but I'm going to spray paint them, spray paint the glass at the bottom after I let the vinyl sit on here. Okay. And make sure that it's somewhat even. Okay, that looks pretty much centered there. And of course I'm touching the glass again, getting it all fingerprinty. So I'll have to just wipe it off each side as I go around. As I go around the glass. Okay, and I don't know if you can see the words on the inside, but like I said, I will have a dark blue spray paint that I'm going to spray paint half of the glass before I epoxy it, and that will make the white pop. So I have snowflakes that I'm going to put around of the glass. So I'm going to put 4 snowflakes on the glass. And the snowflakes don't need to be mirrored because they're going to look the same on either side. So, but I did mirror the words. Okay, you can see that. Pretty good. Alrighty, and I'm just gonna go around the entire glass. Well, like I said, I only have 4. So okay, I'm trying to get it equally on the opposite side. And one more. And then what I'll do is tape off the top of the glass because I don't want the spray paint to go there. I just want the bottom half. And before I spray paint the bottom, I'll make sure to wipe the glass off again so that I won't seal in no fingerprints. Okay, so this is how the glass is looking thus far from the outside. But once I spray painted that dark blue, you won't be able to see this, but you'll be able to see it from the inside. And that's why you call it a peekaboo. Okay, so I'm gonna tape it off. Now that's the hard part for me. Taping it off straight. not going too good. I think I need to put some water in the glass, and that way I can have a level line to follow around the glass. So let me go get some water in the glass. Okay, I put some water in here so I can have a level line to follow around the glass. So I got to get up close and personal. And then once I get the tape around and it looks like it's straight around, I can pour the water out. A minute. This piece of tape is going down. Okay. Okay. So I have the tape around, and what I'm going to do is put some saran wrap up top here and tape it again so none of this will get, well, I'll just tape up here. Because if I put saran wrap, then I won't be able to put my holder in there, my wand in there, so I can hold it out so that my hand won't get all spray painted up. So I'm going to continue taping around the glass, overlapping my seams so that the paint won't get in between. But again, I'm not going to spray paint it until tomorrow. I like my vinyl to sit on my glass for 24 hours so that I won't experience any spray paint seeping under the vinyl or the vinyl lifting. But I do put a sealer on the vinyl to also prevent the vinyl from lifting from the epoxy. Okay, so this is what I'm dealing with so far. I'm gonna put another piece of tape up here. Oops. I'm gonna put another piece of tape up here so that the glass is completely covered up top. But I'm gonna go pour the water out, and like I said, I'm gonna let this sit for 24 hours before I spray paint it. So I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm gonna put this polyacrylic protective finish over the glasses before I spray paint it. I have them sitting in this box because it's too cold to go outside. And you just want a light coat. You just want a light coat. So I'm going to let that dry for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and spray paint it with this blue spray paint. Now that's going to be kind of hard. I'm going to have to maneuver it so I can get around that. Since it's not out in the open and it's confined in that box. Yeah, so we're going to see how we're going to do this. Alrighty, I'll bring you back. Okay, let's spray a coat of spray paint. Okay, everything looks to be covered. I will let this dry for about 30 minutes and then pick it up and to make sure that everything is covered. And then I will let that sit for 24 hours and epoxy it tomorrow. That's just my process. Well, maybe if I would start early in the day and then I can do the epoxy in the afternoon, but it's nighttime right now. So no epoxy tonight. But you know, you work out a process that works best for you. And this is just how I like to do it. I do one step, wait 24 hours and do the next step. So I make sure I allow myself enough time so that the customer won't have to wait too long for the end result. Okay, so I'll bring you back when I see what the glass looks like. Okay, so the glass has been completely painted around the bottom half of it. And now it's time to put the epoxy on it. So I have a 2-part epoxy, less resin, part A and part B. So I mix equal parts and I have it in this cup right here. I have 15 milliliters of A and 15 milliliters of part B. So I've already mixed it up for 3 minutes. I'm going to mix it for another minute to make sure it's completely mixed. Alexa, give me a 1-minute timer.
1 minute, starting now.
And make sure that you're wearing your PPE when you're working with epoxy, your gloves, your mask, etc., etc. And so basically all I have to do at this point is apply the epoxy on the wine glass. I'm sure I've mixed too much epoxy for that bottom half, but it's better to mix a little extra in the beginning as opposed to trying to play catch up. But then again, once that first coat is dry, you can come back in and hit it with a second coat. That's best anyway. I wouldn't advise any epoxy project to be one and done. You put down a flood coat and then you put down your final coat. So this has to dry. Alexa, stop. And so as you turning it, as you stirring your epoxy, you want to make sure that you also get the bottom of your cup so that everything is getting mixed together, because you don't want to have your epoxy not thoroughly mixed. And then occasionally you wipe off your popsicle stick to make sure that that's getting mixed too. And I like to mix it one way for a certain time and then go back and mix it the other way. Now, I want to add a little razzle dazzle to my epoxy. So I'm going to add some mica powder. And it's called Super Sparkles. And it's real light and fluffy like snow. Okay, I'm going to put that in there, mix it up and see what we got. You don't want to put too much of it in there because it'll be kind of thick and pasty like. But you want enough in there so you can see that shimmer when I'll put a little more. And that should do it. Uh-oh. Good thing that was the mica stick and not the epoxy. And I got this from Nurture Soap. So, let me continue to mix that mica up. And I like to mix this into my epoxy even when I'm doing alcohol inks, because I really don't like to deal with glitter unless it's a real fine glitter, because then you have to sand it and all that other stuff.
And I just don't have time for that. I like quick and easy projects. And so this gives me that shimmer, that sparkle that I want. And it's the illusion that you have glitter. So let's go over a recap while I'm stirring this up a little. What I did was clean my glass off with alcohol. I applied the permanent vinyl. I let that sit overnight. Then I came back and sprayed it with a sealer. I let that dry for about 30 minutes and then I spray painted it. And here we are now. So I let that spray paint dry overnight. All right, everything seems to be mixed up. All right, so let me turn it on while my hands are dry. I haven't worked with epoxy in probably a year and a half. No, maybe 2 years. And I love working with epoxy and alcohol inks. And so when I go back in tomorrow with my final coat, I'm not going to put any of that mica powder in. It's just going to be straight epoxy. And I just want to make sure that my glass is smooth and that you don't feel the permanent vinyl, that you have a thick enough layer of epoxy that it completely covers. See, like right now I can feel it, but then again, this layer of epoxy is not dry. And I pretty much has got the whole glass covered, and I probably used about half. So tomorrow when I come back for the the seal coat, the final coat, I know not to mix that much. Like I said, it's been a minute. So I'm going to let that spin for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to hit it with the torch. I like to use the torch when I just want to pop any air bubbles. And I like to use my heat gun when I'm working with alcohol inks and I want that alcohol to move. You see that sparkle? That looks so pretty. I love that. And that's basically it. So I'll let this spin for the next 8 hours, but I'm going to watch it for the next 25 minutes to make sure that everything is covered. Because sometimes when you put down epoxy and it runs, sometimes it runs to one side. You know, your epoxy is self-leveling, but it's only self-leveling if your surface is leveled. So if your surface is not leveled, then your epoxy may pull to one side. I see a spot. I saw a spot that didn't have some. Right there. Alexa, give me a 3-minute timer.
3 minutes, starting now.
So when the 3-minute timer is up, I'll hit it with the torch. And that's basically it. You know, depending on how big your project is, will determine how much epoxy you need. And so this is a 21-ounce wine glass from Dollar Tree. And I'm only covering half of the surface. And like I said, I've only used 15 milliliters of epoxy. Now, if it was the whole glass, then yes, it will be 30. But like I said, it's best to mix a little more, because while this is spinning and then you trying to mix up another batch, and then you got to stir it for 4 to 5 minutes, and then you try to add it to what's already there, this is drying. So when you add that other layer, it's not going to act right. So it's best to just let this completely dry and hit it again, you know, after 12 hours. But this is looking so pretty. And I love that blue. And then the vinyl is white, so that's going to be showing very, very pretty on in the inside of the glass. See, this is still running, so I can still work with that. Alexa, stop. Okay, let me get my torch. And you want to hit it fast. You don't want to stay in one spot too long. So hit it and quit it. Okay, that's it for now. So I'll let that spin again. And Alexa, give me a 6-minute timer. I'll hit it again, because what'll happen is, as the epoxy is settling, the air bubbles will come from the bottom to the top. So Okay, we probably got about 2 more minutes before I'll hit it again for the last time, and then I'll just let it spin for the next 8 hours. But it's looking pretty. It's looking pretty. And then with this tape right here, I'm going to pull this off in about an hour. Because if I don't, that epoxy is going to seal it to the glass. So when I notice it stopped dripping, I'll pull that piece of tape off right there. And one thing I like about when you're working with alcohol inks, you never know what you're going to get. No two projects is going to be the same, because when that alcohol inks run, it's not going to do the same thing each time. So you will be hard pressed to get a matching set when you're working with alcohol inks. So it looked like it stopped dripping for the most part, but it still may be running up there. So that's why I'm going to give it a good hour before I pull that tape off. Alexa, stop. All right, so I'm going to go back in for my last. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to let this turn for, like I said, 8 hours, but I'll come back and check it in about an hour so I can remove that tape. So I'll bring you back.
Okay. Let me pull this tape off. Okay. I'll let it continue to spin so it can dry. Alrighty, I'll bring you back tomorrow. And I have to, like I said, I'm going to apply another coat to make sure that you don't feel the permanent vinyl. You just want to feel a smooth surface.